Hey. Wow, I changed hats. It's crazy. Wanted to talk to you guys about, I don't know. I guess we'll figure that out as we go. Right now in my mind, wrestling again. Wrestling is a big part of my life. And most recently, there was Monday Night Raw where John Cena, in his last time in Boston, won the Intercontinental Championship off of Dominic Mysterio. His first ever Intercontinental Championship, John Cena's, that is. That's a big deal. That was the last title in all of WWE he hadn't won. That was active title, not like those decommissioned ones from before his time or during his younger years where no one really cares and no one cares still. But out of that, it's the only title in the main roster set that he didn't win, and that's a big deal. That is a big deal. And other than that, that Raw sucked. Not really going to become a Raw wrestling reviewer, I don't think. Maybe, that would be kind of cool. I like wrestling, so wrestling reviewing would be pretty fun, I think. I just don't know how many people would care about my opinions on it. But maybe they care about a mailman's thoughts. Right? Get it? Get it? It's the channel you're watching. But, I mean, what else was on that Raw? I mean, the War Games match for the men sucks. I don't mean to sound cynical. I do love wrestling, and I will watch War Games with a smile on my face. It's just like, there was something there that you could have done, even a molecule of storytelling they could have given it. But all they did was just like, these guys do not like those guys. Well, these guys do not like those guys. Now those guys, though, have Logan Paul. So these guys get Cody Rhodes. So now it's 3 versus 3. We need 2 more on each side. And it's like, who are they going to shoehorn in, right? Who are they going to give it? Like, I love Austin Theory. And I think he should have been part of the Vision since the beginning. But that's neither here nor there. So if it comes down to him joining the Vision, even if it comes at the cost of Brock Lesnar, who I'm not a fan of just because he's been the same character for a decade. And it's like, it kind of gets stale. And he's not around enough. And Roman's not around enough, but it's like, bro had a really long title reign that was entertaining from start to finish. So it's like, Brock Lesnar, he also had a long title reign that was pretty not fun to watch from start to finish. So it's like, forgive me if I'm a little more cynical with Lesnar, because Lesnar's best moments come from other people. Maybe that's him making them look good, but there are just some times where Lesnar is the star power in the match and not him versus another guy. It's Lesnar versus someone who doesn't have star power, and that match always sucks. So the common denominator is not Brock Lesnar for good matches, just saying. But I think, well, whoops, sorry, had to stop pretty quickly. But I think that War Games is in a pretty rough spot, and I think they shouldn't have even done it for them. I think they should have done a mid-card War Games, right? Picture this, right? Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn have been doing the open challenges, right? And all these baby faces and heels keep answering the call. All you do is have MFTs versus a menagerie of babyface mid-carders, and have the babyfaces lose to the MFTs to put MFT over as dominant. But also, you can get the excuse that all the babyfaces are arguing with each other, and it comes down to almost like a little standoff between Ilya and Sami, right? And then maybe have one of the 5 babyfaces turn. Not to join the MFTs, but just turn. And I'm not saying Sami or Ilya, but literally, I don't know who could be in it. There's plenty. You could literally throw Damian Priest in there. I know there's like the tournament for John Cena's final match right now, but bear with me. It could be Ilya, Sami. You could throw in maybe Fraxium if you really fucking wanted to. I'm not really so sold on that, but it would tie the MFTs to the tag division and make that match feel something relevant to the tag division. Or you could have it be like, I don't even know, just somebody, but then have someone turn on Ilya because they want the United States title. It makes it feel like the United States title is worth even more than it already feels right now. And then MFTs win, but you know what? Then the women can main event, because while the women don't feel like they're justified either for their War Games, they feel more justified than the men, because it's kind of been like Nia Jax and Lash Legend is such a last-second addition that I'm like, that's the only reason why I feel like it doesn't have good story, because it's tied to them, and I love both of them. Nia Jax, actually, you didn't see me take my hands off the wheel while I'm driving. This is a green screen, actually. It's like, Lash Legend's so cool. I love Nia Jax. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers. I know, don't judge me. Whoops. But they just didn't add anything. They just kind of like showed up and was like, we want to fight. I guess that's wrestling. But anyway, I just think that the women should main event. Men should have been a mid-card. And you could have had Cody versus Drew 3 where Drew wins. And you could have had CM Punk versus Braun Breaker, and then a shenanigans thing with something to do with Jey Uso. Much I don't like Jey Uso in the main event world title scene. I actually like Jey Uso. He's outshined by everybody around him in the main event, that it makes you not want to watch him. You know what I mean? Like, you want to watch literally anybody else. But that's neither here nor there. Sorry, I had to deliver in packages. Since I'm doing this, not really a, you're a little slanted. Hold it together, man. What house? There it is. So yeah, that's kind of my opinions on that Raw. I mean, the women's tag match was really good. The tag match. The men's tag match was good. And I think the only thing that we got in terms of like other stuff, oh, we had the tournament stuff, which the Rusev Damian match sucked, and Damian Priest one of my favorites.
Sorry about that.
Whenever I get out of the truck to go deliver a package, I want to make sure that I don't walk away talking to myself while you're staring at a chair, you know? But yeah, the Damian Priest match sucked. I wish it didn't, because I love Damian, and I feel like Rusev and Damian could always put on a great match. Damian Priest sold me, because for a long time, when he was in NXT and early Judgment Day, I was not a fan of Damian. I was like, alright, he's cool. He's nothing crazy. Not really a fan. But then when he was Money in the Bank holder, I was like, it should have been LA Knight. I love LA Knight too, and that's my biggest gripe with modern day WWE. Hold on. There you go. Customer. Waving. Nice people. You gotta always wave. Mailman always should be a good guy, you know. He should be the friendly face that you see daily. But, none of kindness in the world anyway. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the really important stuff, like why wrestling is cool and why wrestling sucks at the same time. But yeah, and then Sheamus versus Shinsuke was awesome. I really wish they did Sheamus versus Damian and Shinsuke versus Rusev, but I don't know. I guess no going back, because Shinsuke versus Sheamus was good, and I'm happy Sheamus won. He should. Now, what gets me is on SmackDown this week, The Miz is fighting Heat Merchant Jey Uso, and I know, even though The Miz, I love The Miz, even though The Miz should win, not even just because of nostalgia. Let me button this up. You don't got to see my chest hair. That's gross. Even though The Miz should win, it's going to be Jey Uso. They're not going to let Jey Uso fucking beat them. The only hope I got is the Vision screws Jey Uso for some reason. That's all I got. That's my only thing I could cling on to. I will never be more happy to see Bronson Reed jump Jey Uso. I like Bronson a little more than Braun Breaker. That's just me, though. I like Braun Breaker, too. But Bronson Reed, he's a big guy. Big guy, big man. I love big men. Whoa. There's nothing wrong with that. Not wrong with what I said. You're just thinking in a weird way. But yeah. Raw is pretty sick. When it wants to be. Other times it's not. And this Raw was really good. They should have main evented Dominic and John Cena. That should have been the main event segment. Not that the women's tag match shouldn't main event. It's just, on any other Raw, that women's tag match should have been like the best match of the night. Oh, Stephanie Marquez versus Raquel Rodriguez. I love Raquel and Stephanie too. And Nikki Bella turns... Spoilers, Nikki Bella turns in the most obvious and like not shocking way ever. They sell it like it's the craziest thing ever, because of course they do. They gotta. It's their job. They gotta sell it like it's nuts. But it just doesn't help when you can see it coming from a mile away, and it's like, cool, we're gonna have a nice little filler match of Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. Please don't add them to War Games. I think they should just have their one-on-one. Stephanie Vaquer goes over, Nikki Bella disappears till the Rumble appearance, and we move on, you know? That's all. I think Nikki Bella should retire at WrestleMania 42. I think it's some kind of feud. I don't know. But who knows? We'll see. But like I was saying, the women's tag match would have main evented any other Raw. But this one had Cena versus Dominic for the Intercontinental in Boston. I think it should have been Cena in the main event with Dominic. I know it would have been more obvious and less shocking, but you start at such a high, and then there's nothing that reaches that level because they're banking on Rhea coming out to make the save for Charlotte and Alexa. Fire tag team, by the way. I love them. They're banking on that to be like the exclamation point to John Cena's beginning of the sentence, right? And that exclamation point, Rhea, again, any other Raw, that would have hit. It's just, there's nothing that can beat Cena in that moment. So, you know. I think next Raw will be good. I think SmackDown will be good. I think The Miz should win. I think they know that The Miz should win. I really hope it's not Carmelo Hayes that screws him out, because it's like they're not going to pay that off on a fucking... They're not going to pay that off on a pay-per-view. That's going to end on SmackDown next, the week of Survivor Series. It's going to be on the Go Home SmackDown, and it's going to be like an I Quit match or something. If I call that, that's crazy. Anyway, this one's getting a little long. I don't really like going past 10 minutes, but that's all I have to say about that.